Hey guys, welcome to a channel, or welcome back to a channel where we talk about the things. My name is Katey and I'm a wedding photographer here in the lovely state of North Carolina, and today we're talking contracts, but more specifically we're talking about second photographer contracts, what you should include, why they're important, whether you're the lead photographer or the second photographer yourself, why having a contract in general is important. We're gonna get into all of that in this video. First, I wanted to mention why having a second photographer contract is important. I mean, it's gonna be important for the things that you should include, but it makes the whole transaction legitimate. If you don't have any kind of written agreement, there could be some sketchiness in that. I have heard of photographers being second photographers and never getting paid, never getting their images back that they were promised that they could use. So having a contract, I'm a big fan of contracts. It keeps everyone on the same page, total transparency, and liability. So if you sign a contract saying that you allow the second photographer to use their images and never give them to them, or you agree to pay them and never pay them, you know, they have reason to take you to court, they have a foot to stand on, and it just makes everything legitimate. So if you are not, excuse you, Lucy. So if you are not sending a contract to your second photographers, I highly suggest that you start doing that. And if you are a second photographer, you're looking to be a second photographer, wanting to start getting into the wedding biz, then I would suggest that you ask to sign an agreement, because it makes it legit. You don't want to get scammed. You know, there's just so many things that could go wrong. I'm a big fan of contracts. It gets it all in writing. So if you're not doing that already, I highly suggest you start. So something to include in your second photography contract, if you're the lead photographer, something to include would be the duration of the event and like the location and stuff. So how long is this wedding going to be? That's really important for someone to plan their day. I don't know your packages some of the time. If I'm your second photographer, I don't know your packages. I don't know it's an 8-hour day, 7-hour day, who knows? So you need to make sure that that is communicated to the second photographer. I have personally been a second photographer and have only stayed for 5 hours out of, I don't even know how long that wedding was. I was just primarily before and during the ceremony, a little bit after, and then I left before the reception. But that was communicated with me beforehand. So it's like, I need you for 5 hours. Don't need you for the reception because there's only so many photos of people dancing. That needs to be communicated. Are you gonna be there all day? Are they gonna be there all day? Are they gonna be there half the day? Or, you know, things like that, very important to include. So going off of that, next I would say is payment. So how much are you making per hour? So you know the duration, how much are you paying? And also the payment method. Is it gonna be through PayPal, Venmo? Are you bringing in cash? When are you gonna get paid? A lot of the times you won't get paid until you deliver your photos, or, you know, you get the photos from the second photographer. I'm kind of going back and forth on that. Stuff like that, like that's stuff that you need to know. As a second photographer, I'm sure you would like to know how much you're getting paid. And again, just transparency, everyone's on the same page. This is how much you're getting, these are how many hours you're spending at this event, this is how I'm gonna pay you, and this is when I'm going to pay you. All very important in your contract. Oh, I forgot to mention a disclaimer. Whoops. I am not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Please seek actual legal advice when writing your contracts. These are just things that I find useful in mine, but obviously get professional advice and help. I am not a lawyer at all. I forgot to mention that when I started. And the next thing I think is important for your contract is how you're getting the images. Some lead photographers will give you memory cards, so the second photographer will shoot on the lead photographer's memory card, give the memory card back, and then I guess something else happens after that. So how are you getting the photos? Is it through jump drive? Is it an external hard drive? Is it through Dropbox, the cloud? How are the photos going to be exchanged? I had a whole video, or I did a whole video about different delivery methods. What I did when I contracted a second photographer is after the event, we just stayed, it took like an hour, but I just went ahead and took everything from her cards, put it on my external hard drive, and called it a day. So then she had her photos, I had mine day of wedding. We didn't have to like worry about, oh, you need to send me this, or like, I never got the jump drive that you sent through the mail, you know, things like that. So I think it's very important to communicate that in a contract, and then again, you're bound by that in a contract. So delivery method of the images is really, really important, because I've definitely scrambled after a wedding trying to get my images to the lead photographer. And the last thing I'll say that I think is very important to include in your second photographer contract is the use of the images after the event. So in my contract, I allow my second photographer to use the photos they take on their website, in their portfolio, on their social media. However, they have to wait until I deliver the full gallery to their client. And also, some photographers say that you have to credit that you second shot this wedding with and tag the lead photographer, which is fine. I know of some people who don't want you to use the images. I am a firm believer, and anytime I second shoot for a wedding, I say I require to be able to use my images that I take. I believe that those are your images. They're my images, you know, the ones that we take. So we should be able to display our work. There are also some things that people can add into contracts saying, yes, you can use the photos, you can edit them according to your specific style, however you see fit. However, you're not allowed to friend the couple on Facebook. You're not allowed to send them the photos you edited, and that's in my contract as well, because I think that's a little important, because there could be discrepancies. Like, what if they like my second photographer's editing style better? You know, it just leaves a bad taste in photographers' mouths, and like, I would never leapfrog a photographer to get to their own clients like that, you know? So it's better to just keep everyone's hands clean. Again, I really think that it's important to know if you're allowed to use your photos afterwards, and especially if you're shooting on a lead photographer's memory card. How are you going to get your photos after you hand over that card? Because that's something, again, that's really important to me, is that I use my own images that I take. So that's just something to think about, something to add in your contracts moving forward. And that's all I have today. I hope you found this helpful. I hope you start using contracts for your second photographers. If you found this video helpful, please make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you next time. Bye.